the wild is strange. Long Long Ranch sits in ruin in the middle of Hyrule Field. The Lost Woods are to the north, and the Temple of Time is to the south, far from Hyrule Castle. But has anyone tried to flip the map upside down? It actually kinda lines up. Long Long Ranch and the Temple of Time are in the same spots, as well as Lake Hylia is the same size as the lake around the Korok Forest. How strange! Hello and welcome. Today we will be talking about how the Zelda timeline could have merged. Now, this is very much a theory video, so everything will be up to interpretation, and I would love to hear your theories on this scenario in the comments below. Let's get into this. Before we talk about how the timeline merged, we need to first talk about how it merged. A very important part of this video is establishing the flow of time. You wouldn't think it's important, but trust me, it really is. We see time travel happen multiple times throughout the Zelda timeline. The games that have time travel in them is Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Ages, and Tears of the Kingdom. We aren't counting Phantom Hourglass, that was a dream. Possibly. Now, Nintendo's reasoning behind the timeline splitting and stuff is Link just kind of died at some point in time. Doesn't really make any sense. So, the theory that it happened with he just kind of dropped the Master Sword during the final fight and stuff, that one, I love that theory, it's amazing, but having it just happen because he slipped up by accident isn't gonna work for us. We need a more defining reason. In our established flow of time, the rule is someone has to break the timeline when they time travel. We actually see this happening in the events of the creation of the adult and child timelines. Zelda sends Link back to the child timeline to stop this war from happening in the first place. So how did the downfall timeline happen? Another rule we will be following is that we have to see it happen or see an event that happened because of it. If someone has a magical item or a time travel piece in their possession and we don't see them on screen, and then the next time we see them they're acting completely out of character, we can totally say that they definitely used it because they are working on information that they shouldn't have. Like metagaming! We love time travel. There will be no, well, they could have found it later on and used it, because we didn't see that happen, we don't know it's in their hands, we don't know if they will get it later on type of thing, so it's not going to work. That's not going to cut it. Let's look at A Link to the Past's lore. Zelda was captured by Ganondorf, and Link came to save her, but was killed in the process. Ganon got all 3 pieces of the Triforce, and later on was sealed away into the Sacred Realm by 7 sages and Princess Zelda. Let me ask you this. Why did Zelda give Link the Ocarina of Time? You may say it's because she knows Link would need it. But how did she know? The Triforce told her. Then why didn't it tell her more stuff? We know she knows how to use the Ocarina of Time because we've seen her do it at the end of the game, again to establish the adult and child timelines. The hero's spirit is quite literally taken away from the adult timeline and brought to the child timeline. Doing so actually removed his spirit from the flow of time. And we know this because when Ganondorf reappeared, there was no hero. The hero did not come back. This would mean that the Hero of the Wind doesn't have the hero's spirit. But we know he has the blood of a hero because that shield on the wall is the same shield as the hero of the Minish. He's just some kid who wanted to save his sister and got swept up in all of this. And honestly, that adds so much to his character. He wasn't forced to be here. He is here on his own free will. Looking to the downfall timeline, we know a hero appeared the very next time Ganon returned, meaning the hero of legend, and all those that come after him, has the hero spirit, which means someone else who isn't Link had to have used the Ocarina of Time to go back and fix things. The theory goes that while they were still kids, Zelda was captured and Link was killed by Ganon. But because of this, Zelda would have still had the ocarina with her, so she could have gone back to before, where she told Rauru to seal Link away until he is ready to use the Master Sword, then told Impa that they needed to leave now, then gave Link the Ocarina of Time so he could manipulate his own flow of time, then trained with Impa so she could go and help him the best she could. This would also mean that the adult timeline version of Zelda would be the only person to know about all 3 timelines. Something interesting is that how all 4 times we've seen time travel used, 3 of those times had a major impact on the timeline. Skyward Sword resulted in Zelda sealing herself away. Ocarina of Time Zelda created the timelines, and Tears of the Kingdom Zelda fixed the Master Sword, as well as helped seal Ganon away. The Blood of the Goddess seems to have time powers related to it. What about Oracle of Ages? Well, Link was borrowing the power from the Oracle of Ages, as well as the Oracle herself is for Nehru. You know, an oracle for the goddess most notably known for being a part of the Triforce of Wisdom. To say the least, Zelda has been connected to time itself since the beginning. So, long story short, timelines need to be made. They can't just happen. Fun fact about Ocarina of Time's original ending. It was supposed to lead into A Link to the Past, as well as the hero of time was supposed to die. But they didn't think the players would like that, so they changed it. They left the downfall timeline there as a little Easter egg.
How in Hylia's name did I forget about Majora's Mask? Anyways, this still proves my point, but even more so. Whenever Zelda touches the timeline with time travel and stuff, it has very big significant value for the rest of the timeline and story as a whole. When Link does it, it's just a contained event. Moving on.
Now on to the actual subject of this video. How could these timelines all smash together? Hyrule Warriors! Alright guys, thanks for watching. Wait, Nintendo said that wasn't canon. Ah, crap. Alright, let's get searching. Looking at what we know about the games that are at the end of each of the timelines, we have Zelda 2, Four Swords Adventure, and Spirit Tracks. None of these games have time travel items in them, so we have to scratch that off the list. But where is our all-powerful, wishable Triforce? Four Swords Adventure and Spirit Tracks don't have it. Which leads to Zelda 2, where it's stated that the hero of Hyrule is the Triforce's chosen wielder. Let me put a little more emphasis into this. The hero of Hyrule isn't just the chosen wielder of the Triforce of Courage, not only the Triforce of Wisdom, or just the Triforce of Power. No, all three at the same time. No one else in the entire Zelda series has this status. So let's go and get to know this hero. First, in Zelda 2, it's stated multiple times Link is 16, and in Zelda 1 happens 6 years prior. So Link is 10 in Zelda 1. So Zelda 1's plot in the most simplest of terms is, small 10-year-old child gets lost in the mountains, finds an old woman who needs help. After helping said old woman, she asks him to save the princess and the entire country. Within the span of a day, he locates and gathers all 8 pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom and kills the demon king Ganon, gets cursed, and saves the kingdom and Princess Zelda. Side notes here, even in the old games, we do see a day-night cycle. You can see it very clearly in Zelda 2's town backgrounds, and the curse is one of Zelda 2's main plots. If Ganon's minions sacrifice the person who slayed the Demon King via sprinkling their blood on his corpse, Ganon returns. That's why the monsters are hunting Link, as well as when he dies in Zelda 2, you get the game over screen saying Ganon's return. Back to plot. Zelda 2's plot is along the lines of, for the past 6 years, Link has been helping the kingdom rebuild. He wishes to bring it back to its former glory, when a strange mark appears on his hand. Concerned, he goes to Impa, who informs him of Zelda the First. Doing so sends him on a quest to locate and retrieve the missing and sealed Triforce of Courage. After doing so, we see him awaken the sleeping Princess Zelda, but what happens after? Now we get into the real theory crafting part of this, so it's all up to debate and interpretation. The hero of Hyrule's quest to rectify the mistakes of the past, to try and save all those who had suffered because of that, has the ability to do what he's been working on for the past 6 years. And that is to bring the kingdom of Hyrule back to its former glory, to save it from ruin. And all he has to do is make one simple wish. The Triforce created these lands, and with one simple wish, everything can be saved. The concept of time itself may be Nehru's domain, but with her sister's help, the land and life living on it can be brought together, creating an amalgamation of all 3 timelines. The Temple of Time Long Long Ranch, lakes and rivers, the Lost Woods, the Garuda, the Koroks, the Zora, the Rito, and the Gorons, all a part of different timelines, structures, and locations throughout the era slammed together. The hero of Hyrule wished for the kingdom to be put back to its former glory, but time had marched on, hundreds of thousands of years. So instead of rewriting history, putting everything back onto the same map was the easiest solution. 3 major parts that proves this theory is first, the land of Hyrule itself, just walking around and see it. All the locations and structures are from completely different timelines, completely different events of time that had happened. Second is the people. The Rito and the Zora are said to be the same race.
Also, the Koroks only exist in the adult timeline. And lastly, there's also the fact that there are 2 Ganons. Why are there 2 of you? Which means that, like, somebody sealed away their Ganon correctly.
Doubtful.
Which begs the question, there should be 2 hero spirits. And where's the Triforce? And that's to our second part of our theory. Also, that is not the Triforce, that's Zelda's goddess powers. They look identical because Hylia. But no, that's not the Triforce. It's literally stated that's Zelda's sealing powers that Zelda got from her bloodline, which she got from Hylia. That's not the Triforce. So where is it? Hidden until it's needed, like the hero who protects it. The hero of Hyrule's fate is one of theory and debate, but he is the last to have the Triforce as we know it in the series. And to learn of his fate, we just have to remember the plot of his games and look to Breath of the Wild. What is the purpose of the shrines? It's to train the next hero. What is the reward for completing all the shrines? The Hero of the Wild's tunic, which looks eerily similar to the Hero of Hyrule's tunic. To stop Ganon from reviving, the Hero of Hyrule's body had to be sealed away behind 120 shrines. These were to train the hero who appeared after him to aid him in his journey, as well as to prevent his Ganon from returning, and his spirit guarding the Triforce. He is her chosen, and he will protect her until she is needed. Thank you all for watching. What is your theory on how it all merged, or if it did merge? What's your guys' theories? Tell me in the comments below. And what are your thoughts on my theory? I just want to know your guys' thoughts. We talked a lot more than just how the timeline was to merge, but hey, I hope you all enjoyed this theory. I call the last little part the Golden Shade theory. Also, if Ganon's minions were struggling with 8 dungeons to get to the Triforce of Wisdom, I think 120 shrines are just a cruel and unusual punishment at this point. Anyways, our next poll for the next video will be what's happened to the Triforce and Echoes of Wisdom? How the oracles are connected to their pieces of the Triforce and their wielders. And lastly, the history of the Knights of Hyrule clan. Also, I just really want to make a mod one day where it's like the sword trials in Breath of the Wild, but there's a secret boss at the end, and it's just the hero of Hyrule standing there like... It would be such a cool boss fight. You would like get the magic sword and it would be like the master sword and like it didn't really break forever type of thing, but it would shoot sword beams at full health. It would be really fun. I'd love to make that one day. Anyways, thank you for watching again. I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Bye!